What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Peabody back with another video. So today I'm bringing you guys the discoveries made inside the pyramid that could change everything. I'm not going to sit here and talk your head off. Y'all know what to do. If you like the video, hit the sub button. If you don't like the video, still hit the sub button to support your boy. You know what I'm saying? Now, but for real, let's get into it, man. And I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Let's go.
We were always taught that only the rich and powerful were actually buried in pyramids, but a recent discovery may completely disprove that. And inscriptions hidden deep inside the Great Pyramid hint that it wasn't built by slaves, but by skilled workers who were honored like kings. And a giant unexplained void was discovered inside the pyramid. What's inside it? Find out. These are discoveries made inside the pyramids that could change history. So we were always taught that the pyramids were—
Hey, before we get into it, man, who do y'all think built the pyramids? Do you think it was the Egyptians, or do you think it was the Egyptians that had some help by some other worldly things? Tell me what you think.
were for the rich and powerful. Pharaohs, nobles, high status types, but a recent discovery at an ancient burial site called Tombos in northern Sudan is making researchers rethink that. They found people buried in small mud brick pyramids who didn't exactly live lives of luxury. Some of the skeletons showed signs of hard physical labor, things like wear and tear on the bones, while others looked like they belonged to people who barely lifted a finger. Tombos came under Egyptian control around 3,500 years ago, during the height of Egypt's power. Over the years, archaeologists have found at least 5 pyramid tombs at the site. The biggest one belonged to Siamun, a pharaoh from the 21st dynasty. His tomb hasn't been fully excavated yet because it's too unstable. Still, researchers studied the skeletons buried in and around these pyramid tombs and noticed a pattern. Not everyone buried there lived the same kind of life. Some experts think the physically active people may have been servants, buried near their masters to continue serving them in the afterlife. If they're right, this could change a long-held belief that only the elites were buried in pyramids. A recent discovery inside the Great Pyramid of Giza might finally give us a clearer answer to the big question: who actually—
On another note, man, this is the one place before I leave this earth, I gotta go. Gotta go to Egypt to see the pyramids. I have to. It's a must. I don't know what it is, but I gotta go see the pyramids in person. That's my must to do. I gotta do it. And if you've been there before, man, share your experience. Tell me about it.
built it? For ages, people believed it was 100,000 slaves working around the clock for 20 years, but Dr. Zahi Hawass, one of Egypt's most well-known archaeologists, says the evidence points in a totally different direction. Using imaging technology to explore narrow chambers above the king's chamber, areas that are tough and dangerous to reach, Dr. Hawass and his team found inscriptions left by work crews over 4,000 years ago. And near the pyramid, they also found tombs of the workers themselves. These tombs weren't hidden away. They had statues of the laborers and showed signs that they were meant to last forever. As Hawass put it, if they had been slaves, they would never have been buried in the shadow of the pyramids. Slaves would not have prepared their tombs for eternity like kings and queens did. The team also found flint tools and pounding stones, plus evidence of a quarry just 1,000 feet away. Limestone was hauled in using a ramp. All of this paints a very different picture than we typically imagine. Instead of slaves, these were skilled workers who had proper tools, days off, and were even honored in death right next to the pyramid they helped build. Back in 2017, scientists found something strange hiding inside the Great Pyramid. A giant empty space sitting right above the Grand Gallery. It's now known as the Big Void, and it's huge, around 100 feet long. Nobody knew it was there, and to this day, no one really knows what it's for. It's not connected to any other chambers, and there's no clear way to get into it. The discovery came from the Scan Pyramids project, where a team used what's called cosmic ray detectors to scan the pyramid without actually having to go inside. The method picks up muons, which are tiny particles from space that pass through stone and help create a kind of 3D map of the inside. That's when they spotted this void. So far, no one's been allowed to drill or send anything in to check. It's just sitting there sealed off since the day the pyramid was built, over 4,500 years ago. It might not be, a secret treasure room, but also maybe it is. For nearly 200 years, a mysterious passageway inside the pyramid of Pharaoh Sahur sat untouched. First investigated in 1836 by British Egyptologist John Perring, the tunnel was buried in rubble, and no one was able to go any further. Perring believed it might lead to hidden storage rooms, but his theory was dismissed for decades.
Not only the way the pyramids were built out of stone, right? Hear me out. But the way they designed the pyramids in the inside around all that stone, that's what gets me, man. Like, who thought of this? Who was in charge? Who took the lead in doing this? Because everything is measured out perfectly. They knew exactly what they were doing and how to do it. And I swear, sometimes I sit here and think, I was like, I think they were smarter than us back then. They were smarter than us, or they knew something we don't know today. I don't know what it is. It's something, man. Because you just don't know how to do stuff like this. Who taught them? Who showed them? That's what I want to know.
Until 2019. A team led by Dr. Mohammed Ismail Khalid from Julius Maximilian's University of Wurzburg started working inside the same pyramid. They hadn't been looking for hidden chambers or anything, they were just trying to stop the place from collapsing. But while clearing out the ruins, they ended up coming across that same passage Perring found all the way back in 1836. This time, though, they kept digging. At the end of the passage, they found 8 storage rooms. They're in rough shape, parts of the ceilings and floors are missing, but you can still see original pieces of the walls. So, after nearly 2 centuries, Perring's hunch turned out to be right. In 2023, researchers found a hidden corridor inside the Great Pyramid completely by accident. It's about 30 feet long, 7 feet wide, and sits just behind the pyramid's north face, near the original entrance. What's weird is it doesn't lead anywhere. No connecting rooms, no decorations. It's just a sealed off tunnel. And once again, the team discovered it using a scanning method that basically works like an X-ray for stone. Dr. Zahi Uwas, who was part of the project, said the tunnel might have been built to take pressure off something nearby, maybe a hidden chamber that hasn't been found yet. There is something important under the corridor. We're going to continue our scanning, he said. One of the biggest mysteries around the pyramids has always been how the ancient Egyptians moved those massive stone blocks. They didn't have cranes, trucks, or wheels strong enough to carry all that weight, so how did they do it? Well, a recent study might have given us part of the answer. Researchers using satellite images found evidence of a long buried branch of the Nile River that used to run much closer to the Giza Plateau than it does today. It's now called the Ahrimat branch, Ahrimat meaning pyramids in Arabic. It may have been used to help move the blocks. The river was close enough that boats could have delivered materials almost directly to the construction sites. Over time, the branch dried up and got buried under sand, but back when the pyramids were being built, it would have worked like a supply highway. The theory is that ancient Egyptians floated limestone and granite blocks from the quarries downriver, then used ramps or sledges to move them the rest of the way. Here's more evidence for that theory. In 2013, archaeologists found something incredible inside a cave near the Red Sea. It was a stack of ancient documents written on papyrus, a type of paper made from a plant that grew along the Nile River. Ancient Egyptians used it to write everything from official records to personal notes. This stack was the oldest ever found in Egypt, and one of them was basically a work journal written by a man named Merer, who helped build the Great Pyramid, at least so he said. In the diary, Merer described how his team moved limestone blocks from a quarry to the pyramid site, loading the stone onto boats and sailing it along canals that connected to the Nile. We transported the stone blocks from Tura to the Pyramid of Khufu, he wrote. This diary is the oldest known written record about the construction of the pyramid, and it's the first time we've ever seen something like this written by someone who was actually there. These are the words written by hand by a real guy working day by day at one of the 7 wonders of the
What they
world.
say.
That's
What they
pretty
say.
incredible. Recently, archaeologists working at Saqqara hit gold, well, in the form of ancient mud brick workshops. They found 2 underground embalming workshops, one for people and one for animals. There were also ancient beds, tools, and containers of resin used in mummification. It's all about 2,300 years old. The animal embalming area was found nearby, also full of pots, tools, and there were even animal remains. Archaeologists have been finding crazy stuff in Saqqara for years, but finding the actual places where mummification happened is pretty amazing. Shows just how organized and ritualized the process was, right there beside the pyramid complexes and necropolis. A few years ago, a team from Swansea and Leicester universities did something amazing. They unwrapped animal mummies, like a cat, a kestrel, and a snake. Now, this seems like a bad idea. I mean, how do you unwrap an ancient animal mummy without it just crumbling into dust? Well, they didn't actually physically unwrap them. They used super high-resolution CT scans to have a virtual look inside. The scans show a lot of detail, right down to tiny bones and tissues, much sharper than standard hospital scans. Professor Richard Johnston put it like this: using micro-CT, we can effectively carry out a post-mortem on these animals, more than 2,000 years after they.
I like the fact that we have the technology today to do these scans. It saves a bunch of time. There's no guessing. They can literally scan this pyramid, see straight through it, and they can pinpoint exactly what they want to go to, what they want to study, what they want to see, or whatnot. Just like when they scanned, they did the X-ray scan of the pyramids, and they found the, what you call it, the things under the ground where the pyramid was sitting on. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Can't think of the word right now, but yeah, I'm just glad we have the technology to do that nowadays, because it'll save a lot of time, and it'll also catch the things that we may miss. Because it seems like with the pyramids, man, they hid a lot of stuff in the pyramids on purpose. They didn't want us to find it. But you know, us know how we are. We just got to get to the bottom of it. We got to know what's in there, right?
They died in ancient Egypt. He also explained how the scans showed how the animals died. The snake's spine was broken in a way that seemed like it was killed by bullwhipping. The cat had likely been strangled. And they also managed to identify the bird as a kestrel and see dehydration in its bones. All this tells us not only how the animals were killed, but how they were raised and treated before they died. In 2024, a team of researchers using ground-penetrating radar claimed they'd found something strange underneath the Giza Plateau, like way underneath. Their radar images seemed to show what looked like rooms, tunnels, and massive pillars sitting hundreds of.
Okay, that's what I was just talking about. The pillars. It was the pillars they found on the ground, all because of that scan. Let's see what they got to say about it.
Feet below the surface. Professor Corrado Malanga, one of the scientists, said it could be tied to ancient Egyptian myths, like the Chamber of Knowledge that was supposedly hidden beneath the pyramids. He told Italian media, until yesterday, Egyptologists said there was nothing, but there are a lot of things. The radar scans showed symmetrical shapes, corners, and what looked like passageways, none of which should be there, according to what we thought we knew about the area anyway. Now, to be clear, no one's actually dug down to check, and some experts are pretty skeptical, but whether there's really something down there, or this is just natural rock formations playing tricks on the radar, for a place we've studied for over a century, it's cool that we're still finding new questions and mysteries about it. Maybe even more than answers. I've been your host, James, and I will catch you, yes, you specifically, in the next video.
All right, man. I appreciate you guys for tuning in with me. Like I said, it's discoveries inside the pyramid, man. Like I'm saying, we always finding new things dealing with the pyramids, and I can almost guarantee you there's something else there we haven't discovered yet. Almost guarantee it. And we've been studying the pyramids for how many years now? I can't tell you exactly how many years, but it's been a long time. But like I said, man, hit the sub button if you like the video. If you don't like the video, still hit the sub button. But no, for real though, man, I appreciate y'all for rocking out with me, man. Until next time, peace.